Second.
Hi, welcome everyone. It's great to, well, I guess you see us, but it's great to know you're out there. And thank you for joining us for the happy hour here, St. Basil's Coupled in Faith Ministry. And we hope this night is just a night of just having some fun and relaxing and maybe a little, God willing, some wisdom for all of us. I'm here with the Benders and I'm here with the Youngs, and they're going to help tonight just be a night that's kind of enjoyable and a night that's relaxing. As you see our cameras zoom out, there they are. The Benders are over here, Youngs over here. And you are in the rectory of St. Basil's. This is where the priests live. That's what a rectory means. This is our sitting room. And before we go any further, I just want to thank all of you. We've gotten emails from people actually all over the country who are planning to join us tonight. So if you're from outside the Diocese of Cleveland, welcome. If you're outside of St. Basil's, it's great to have you. And if you are a parishioner, of course you know we love you. And we're very glad we could offer you this ministry. I want to say really quick to everyone that this really wouldn't be possible without a man that none of you see, who is Tommy Dome. And his wife, Kara Dome, and their two kids. They're not here, but Tommy is. He's on the other side of the camera, making sure that all of your comments and everything is working. He got the lighting and everything. So I want to thank them for that as well.
Does everything work?
Can you hear me? If you cannot hear me, I'm going to keep going for the next hour anyways. Just so you know, before we go any further, I just want each couple to share. If you just tell us how long you've been married, introduce yourself, just so people know kind of a sense of who you are. Benders?
All right. Well, I am Dan Bender. This is my lovely bride, Megan Bender. We've been married for 7.5, almost eight years. No?
6.5.
Oh, 6.5. Going on 7. It'll be 7 in April.
Nice.
It'll be 7 years in April.
Yes.
And I didn't feel like we're on a game show until we zoomed out, and then I saw them, and I felt like it's the Family Feud. I play the feud all of a sudden.
Now tell how many kids?
We
Got a
have
few.
4 kids.
Nice. Ages?
Maddie is 5, about to be 6. Maria is 4, will be 5 in April. Anne is 2, will be 3 in May. And then we have Luke, who was born in June of 2020.
During a pandemic.
During the pandemic, the best thing of 2020.
Awesome.
Pandemic, baby.
Well, Benders, thanks for being with us. And Youngs, how about the Youngs coming over to you here?
Hi, I'm Jay Youngs and my wife Robin. Robin's on staff here and I'm her trusty assistant. And we've been married going on 35 years and we have 2 children. Daughter is oldest, she's 32, and a son that's 29.
Wonderful.
Yep.
That's good.
No pandemic babies.
Well, good. That's, if you had one, we'd be glad to bless the baby too, nonetheless. Well, it's great to have. So I want to walk you through a little bit what we're going to do tonight and let you know, it's not just me talking the whole time. We're going to do some question and answers. We're going to have some trivia with some giveaways. That's right. If you're watching, you might win a gift. Okay. And then we'll talk a little bit about maybe a little bit of the love songs and vows, and then coming back with some more questions at the end. What we want to begin with, though, is just to kind of a little bit of question and answer, because if you're watching, we want to let you know this is an interactive night, and your part of the interactive is going to be typing in the comment section. And so depending on the speed of the comments or depending on the appropriateness of the comments, you could be a winner. Okay.
Dan Bender's
Yeah, it was a dance here.
Yeah.
So there's a level.
Ready.
Right, Dan's going to be commenting now. So the hope is to find that, some questions. So I'm going to kick over to Robin to ask the first question, and you're going to respond in the comment section, and we'll all talk a little bit about what stands out. So, Robin?
Great, thanks. First of all, I too want to thank Father Ryan for letting us crash his home.
I didn't know this was happening up here. So it's great to have you in my home.
Very generous. We just kind of showed up this afternoon putting all this together. So he's been absolutely fabulous. So the first question, what song did you dance to at your wedding? And so while we're waiting for people to type their answers, Dan, do you remember the song you danced to?
6, not 7 years ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Yes.
We danced to a song called, it was by Kip Moore. It's called Hey Pretty Girl, right?
Oh,
Pretty Girl.
very good. Very good.
It had come out, I think, right around when we were dating and getting engaged. And it was a nice country song for all Reverend down in Alabama listening. But it was, and it's funny. I was thinking about this talk and what we're going to talk about tonight. There's actually a part in the song It's the bridge. You like that musical term there?
I'm very impressed. Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Not a verse, not a chorus, but the bridge where Thor sings, "Life's a long and winding ride. You better have the right one by your side."
Aw.
I just think about how that ties in with the marital vows about better or worse, sickness and health, and till death do us part. So
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, our first person who chimed in with the answer to the question, what was the first song you danced to, was Nancy Schlabig,
Oh.
who said she has no clue.
good
Unless
job,
that's
Nancy.
a song named No Clue.
Yeah.
Well, we also have Jenny Luco says True Companion.
Oh.
Jenny, nicely done.
Stifo, Unforgettable.
Oh.
Amy Zemechek, Wonderful Tonight.
Oh, that's
Oh, that
Michael
was fun.
Jacob as My Only Love by Matt Marr. I Can't Help Falling in Love with You for Kevin Jones.
Nice.
Patrick Fleming, I Won't Give Up.
I was there for that.
We have I'll Back You Up by Dave Matthews Band. That's Becky Bell. Rock the Boat. I don't know what that is. Oh, yay,
Don't rock the
Alabama,
boat,
watching
baby.
from Montgomery. So we do have some Alabama.
Oh, Alabama
Tell us the story,
people.
Ryan.
We'll zoom a little bit there. So, yeah, so some of you from Alabama, this is what I understand. And I could be wrong. I might have filled in the gaps. But someone in Alabama has been watching our live stream masses and a part of a Bible study. And they called the office today just to let our office manager know, just want to let you know there's some of us from our Bible study, we're going to be chiming in. Now, we'll be honest, out of Christian charity, we're very glad to have you. But out of football rigidness, it's mixed
We're very
emotions
sad.
because we're sore losers. We're so happy to have you, honestly. So thanks for joining us from Alabama. Tommy, anyone else chime in with the
Oh,
song?
we got lots. We got too many to say, but we've got some Rod Stewart, some Nat King Cole, Louis Armstrong. We've got John Denver.
John Denver.
Rickman. We've got some
This guy's cool.
Springsteen too, I think.
Oh, nice. Wonderful. Awesome. Awesome. Well, why don't you guys go ahead and ask the second question?
What's the second question, Meg?
All right.
Oh, I can. Do I hold
No,
this
not
question?
No, that's trivia.
Dan's still
All right.
figuring out the rules there.
All right. Name a group or musician that you love, but your spouse does not.
Oh, Steely Dan for us. He loves Steely Dan.
I'm a Steely Dan
Not
fan.
not a
Favorite
fan.
Steely Dan song?
And
Ricky,
can I,
don't lose that number.
hey, Coach Youngs, are Steely Dan fans, are they known as like Steely fans?
Yes, we are. Very good, Dan. You
Like Barry Manilow, they call themselves the Fanilows. They're fans of Barry Manilow.
Now, how about vice
thought
versa? Robin,
Father
do you
was
like
the-
something that Jay doesn't like? Do you like a group that Jay doesn't like or a singer?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't think so. I just
Not that I-
we like a lot of music, but for whatever reason, I just do not like Steely Dan, and
And we got a
he
lot of
likes
Steely
them.
Dan fans.
Oh my God!
In the comment boxes. Well, I think it's a lot of spouses like Steely Dan. And then
Well, then I've hit a chord, haven't I?
Yeah.
There you go.
Rob, you just have great taste in music, so.
That's thank you.
Now, who else
Thank
is
you.
named? Tommy, anyone out there who says, this is someone I like, but my spouse doesn't?
Wait, Vicky Radisky says Rush. So either their first song they danced to, I don't know if they responded to the first question. It'd be amazing if they danced to Rush. We got Aerosmith, AC/DC, the Beatles, and Springsteen. And then TJ and Colleen Mangan say, we don't have any conflicts in music at all.
Wow, what an envy.
They trying to show off?
Well, no, they actually said we don't have any conflicts at all, at least not in music.
Oh, there it is. Nice. Yeah.
See?
Led Zeppelin was the first song, says Vicky. I don't, what?
Let's Stairway to Heaven. I remember that. All right, next song. Next question, rather.
Next question. Pre-COVID, what was your favorite date night?
We have 4 kids, so the date nights were few and far between.
Our favorite date night was probably just grabbing, when I wasn't pregnant, grabbing some wine and some apps anywhere. Probably Michelangelo's, somewhere close by in case, we had to get home. But,
Stay within a
Yeah.
2-mile radius of the
Yeah.
house.
Nice.
Uh,
That's great.
yeah.
What would you say?
we like to hit the microbrews,
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
breweries, and we bring our dog with us if they're mostly dog friendly, and so we don't let her drink beer though.
Very rigid.
She's
Yeah.
not at
Yeah,
all.
we're
She's only 3, so
There's only 3. Yeah, a yellow lab. Yeah.
yeah.
Graced our office.
So, yeah.
What are some other favorite dates for all of you?
Yeah, some pre-COVID favorite date nights. Fishing.
Fishing.
For Mike Mannion. We've got going to summer concerts at Coe Lake.
Coal Lake, yeah.
And Mark Nylander says every night is a date night.
What a stud.
Paul, you are so lucky. Teschner's.
Oh, we love
I don't know what
Teschner's.
that is. Trish DeCinci.
That must be Trish. I was just going to say it's
She
Trish
also says
DeCinci.
cheers. She's drinking an IPA.
Thank you. I taught her how to drink IPAs, just
That's what
just for the record.
Matt Surson says my favorite date night is where my wife picks up the tab.
Nice. Well done, Matt. Congratulations on the baby, Matt and Bridie.
Yeah.
Oh, congrats.
And Bridie says go Irish.
Irish. They
Yeah,
struggle.
Alabama, you beat all of our teams, Alabama.
Yeah.
You beat the Catholics and the Ohioans.
Yeah.
Dang you.
Well, you're welcome on the video, but yeah.
Right. You better
How
not
about the
have
last
that.
question coming from the Benders here?
Okay, Jay and Robin. During COVID, what was your favorite date night?
During this pandemic, so this is news for me, as a priest, like, so there's still date nights happening, which I'm glad to hear. What was it?
I like skipping work, like just blowing off work altogether, coming home.
What's happening?
Just kidding. Just kidding. After work,
Yeah.
I would come home. But no, we really liked building a fire and
take home food.
we would maybe do a drive like to Lakewood. Gathering Kitchens was a great place. We like to support the local restaurants, get some takeout, build a fire, and then we fell in love with the game Sequence. So if you haven't played that game, so fun. I'm not so great at it, but
Yeah,
my
I
kids
usually
would
beat
tell
her
you that.
pretty
But
handily.
just play a game by the fire, and then as you know, our bubble kind of got bigger. Our son Joe and his girl would come over, so that was nice, and just sit by the fire and really spend time with family. So, you know, it was good.
We survived.
Yeah,
That's great.
Just like everybody else.
yeah.
Benders, how about you guys?
I was gonna say our most memorable date night since the pandemic hit happened on June 27th. Okay, and we had not been out of our house without our kids,
Just us two.
just us with no kids. It had not happened at all in all of 2020. And you go through marriage prep and pre-K and Aaron's like, you gotta make date nights, you gotta make date nights. And then you got 3 kids and a pregnant wife and a pandemic. But we finally got a big night out on January 27th. And then at June.
Yeah.
June 27th.
Yes.
And then at 12:06, something like that, a.m. on June 28th, our son was born.
Yeah.
So our big night out was to go to Hillcrest Hospital for labor and delivery. That was the one
That's a
time
solid
we were out of
date
the house.
night.
It's a very
solid
fruitful
date
night. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was actually a pretty
Yeah.
relaxing weekend, you know. In-laws were watching the kids, and
Absolutely.
There you go.
Now, how about anyone out there, Tom?
We've got some pretty cool date nights during lockdown. We've got Kevin Jones says they participated in a virtual wine tasting through Miami University.
Oh,
Nice.
Go Red Hawks.
Restifo's movie and a cocktail in our jammies.
oh,
Joe Seether says taking our Vizslas to the park. I don't know
What?
that is.
What is that?
Vizsla.
Well,
Tesla? Tesla.
I don't know. Tell us
That
what
is-
that is.
that might need to be
Sounds
muted.
sounds,
You know, one of those little
Some-
moped bikes.
Oh, Vesper, or,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
something totally different.
Okay,
Elizabeth Stasko says dropping the kids off at grandma's.
Yo, yeah.
awesome.
Awesome. TJ Manning dropping the kids off at my sister's for quiet dinner. Bill Muskonish enjoyed Zoom meetings with friends. Rick Dakar had some happy hours on their daughter's patio.
nice.
Matt Steinmetz going on a hike and getting ice cream when the
Okay.
weather's nice. That sounds awesome. That's also Vince Marchetti says handles.
Did they have their
Exploding Kittens,
Handles of
and
alcohol.
Hallmark movies, sitting on our boat with drinks, Put-in Bay. A lot of patios, a lot of relying on grandmas for dropping the kids off.
Yeah,
And Amy says driving through the metro parks to Rocky River. That sounds nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Teresa Damansky watching sunsets over Lake Erie.
Oh, wow,
nice.
nice.
Really nice. Hot
Great.
Tub and Wine.
Oh,
Joe
Nice.
Morris.
Good for you,
Nice.
Joe.
wow.
Joe.
Way to go, Joe.
Wow, Joe.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Karen Van Cure says one of her favorites was watching the St. Michael's School Angel Gala.
Oh.
Points.
Wow. Well done. Yeah.
Very well. Oh, Vizslas are a breed of Hungarian dogs.
Oh.
I knew it.
We were way wrong.
Mark.
Knew it.
All right.
The motorcycle.
Didn't want to be a know-it-all, you know.
Yeah,
So
Here I was
so what
thinking
was-
they're Romanian.
exactly. So what we want to do is that was just to get you used to typing things in if you've never done it before on whether it's YouTube Live or Facebook Live. So just to get you used to that. But the reason you want to be good at that is because we're going to try our first round here. And it's the first round of trivia.
Cutthroat trivia.
Cutthroat trivia. My gosh, Robin. This is going to people we don't know. It's live.
Well, it's Alabama. Who cares?
Okay, so we're doing cutthroat trivia, which means this. We're going to ask you a question, and if you are the first person to type in an answer, which Tommy Dome will be the judge on this, you receive a book. So you're going to say, well, how do I pick up the book? Great question. Okay, you need to remember which book you won, all right? And then you're going to email Tommy Dome, which is tdome, D-O-M-E, at basilthegreat.org. He's putting it in the notes. tdome, D-O-M-E, at basilthegreat.org. So if you win this, we're trusting you, because if you just start emailing him and asking for books, yeah, it's really unchristian. We can't be doing that. So we're going to be cutthroat winners, and the Youngs, led by Robin, is going to ask the first question.
Yes, and these are for Facebook people because there's a delay. So we're going to go back and forth between Facebook and YouTube. So the first book is Do Something Beautiful for God, which is a really good book.
Who's on the cover?
Mother Teresa,
Nice.
Saint Teresa. And
This is for the Facebook crowd.
Yes.
So if you're on Facebook, this one's for you.
Pope Francis proclaims year of what saint for 2021?
Read it one more time.
Pope Francis proclaims year of what saint for 2021?
The Facebook crowd winner is
Matthew Summers.
Oh, all right.
Matthew
You spelled
Summers.
Joseph correctly. There's a W in there, but I'm still gonna give it to him.
Yeah,
It was going fast.
Yeah, it
It's
was-
cutthroat. You knew it was
he
cutthroat.
was so excited.
He was typing so fast.
Matthew what?
Awesome.
Summers.
Awesome job.
Summers.
Summers?
Summers. How do you spell that last name?
S-O-N-M-E-R-S, I think.
S-O-M-E-R-S. That's what I thought. Wonderful. So once again, the reason we're going Facebook versus YouTube is there's a different delay for each one, so it wouldn't be fair. So next up, the Benders are going to be asking the question for the YouTube crowd only. YouTube crowd only. And here are the Benders. You just
You can do it.
show them the book, let them know the book, and go from there.
All right, what's the book, Meg?
Beautiful Hope. Finding hope every day in a broken world.
Okay, YouTube, your question is, dun, dun, dun. What colors are the papal flag?
You're going to do this one, right?
What colors are the papal flag? That's plural colors.
Yes.
So we're looking for more than
Big
one.
Colors.
We need that Jeopardy
And
music.
there's a hint in what Megan's holding.
Oh man, we have people saying yellow and red, white and blue, yellow and white, white and red, yellow,
so
black,
close. Anything from Alabama?
And the winner is?
And white. We're
Crimson.
gonna go winner is TJ Mannion, yellow and white.
Nice.
All right,
Very
TJ.
good.
Wonderful. Awesome. Congratulations.
White and yellow, white and yellow.
Swinging back to the Youngs here for number 3. Facebook crowd again. Here you are,
Facebook, yep. Perfectly Yourself is the book.
By Matthew Kelly.
In what city is the famous Spanish Basilica Sagrada Familia? It's a beautiful, beautiful church. And St. Basil, we went there. There were people on our tour that got to go and have a mass underneath. So you should know that.
What city is the famous Spanish Basilica of the Sagrada Familia? That's a tough question.
Well, there's 40 people that went on that tour, so there's
all
got to
of them
be
were just
someone.
perfect recall?
All of
That's
them
right.
are on Facebook.
Now the Facebook people are ripping on the YouTube people saying Team Facebook rules.
I said it was Cutthroat, right?
Becky Bell's convinced that the reason they didn't win is because their Wi-Fi is not fast enough. But we
believe you, Becky.
What is the correct answer?
White.
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Okay, that's Jeff Herring.
Put that in there.
Jeff Herring?
Jeff
You're
Hernick.
gonna make me try and struggle to pronounce it again?
No, you're doing great, Tommy.
Tommy.
H-R-Y-N-K.
Yes, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff.
Our floor man.
He's doing our
Way to go,
floors.
Jeff.
We were just telling stories, Jeff, about how talented you are.
Yeah.
We didn't cheat. We didn't tell him these questions ahead of time or
That's
anything.
right. No, yeah.
Fix.
Jeff, you can come and get this at
At
our
the house when you finish it. You're not getting the book until my floors are done, pal.
There you go.
A lot of people knew it was Barcelona, though, and Elizabeth Stasko says we went there for our honeymoon.
No,
Whoa.
fancy them.
That's pretty cool.
All right, well, one more question before we get into it, right?
Sure, we can.
Round
and then
4, we'll
come
do.
back to it. Go.
Come to the benders again.
Sure.
For YouTube crowd. This is the YouTube crowd. Time to defend yourself.
All right, so you will win a How to Pray Like Mary. All right. Who was the famed band leader from North Dakota with a hit TV show that bore his name?
You're gonna have to read that again because I'm even confused.
Okay. Who was the famed band leader from North Dakota with a hit TV show that bore his name?
This is a tough one.
Think kind of in the 50s.
Think black and white for sure.
Black and white for sure.
Lawrence Welk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lawrence Welk's the
Yeah,
answer.
nice. Who was that?
We're going Vincent Marchetti. TJ Mannion must type at 150 words per minute, but he already won a book, so
Yeah,
he
so-
can't win two.
So the answer, the winner is
Vincent Marchetti.
Nice.
Marchetti. Awesome.
Here's
Well done. Well, we're going to come back with 4 more giveaways towards the end of the presentation. So stay tuned. You can continue to win more, especially Facebook, YouTube world. You can continue to battle it out. So
like Team Edward and Team Jacob or something.
yeah, it's rather intense. It's rather intense. So, well, at that point, I think what we just want to do is just kind of slowly like zoom in, not just to me, although that's happening.
Makeup.
Yeah, they were making fun of me for my balding pattern earlier. I just want that to be noticed that there was a talk of a hat and other things, but it's fine. I'm 37. I can show it. So, what I want to do at this point is just kind of help us maybe reflect a little bit on marriage, right? So, we chose the topic love songs and the vows, and marriage is so important to me. When I was in the seminary, I was studying a lot of Pope St. John Paul II's writing on marriage and family. And in fact, when it comes to sexuality and marriage and family, 2,000-year-long tradition, 70% of what's written on the topic is written by John Paul II. So within the last 50 years, we've had the majority of the things the church has ever said on the topic. So we're still like absorbing it and understanding it. And there's all sorts of great theologians trying to dissect it and bring it down, but it usually takes 50 to 100 years for like a teaching of the church that's prolific to make it into the pews. So we're still dissecting and understanding it all. But when I was in the seminary studying, I realized how revolutionary this was. And in fact, reading this was actually what made me want to be a priest. Remember, I read a book entitled Good News About Sex and Marriage by Christopher West. And I remember reading this book and saying, I need to be a priest because I wanted to minister and serve this vision. I wanted to make sure married couples and families could understand this and live it. And so for those of you out there who don't know me, I mean, I'm Father Ryan Mann, and I've been a priest for 7 years. Been at St. Basil for about 5.5 months now. As the administrator, it's kind of like a pastor. I don't want to waste time. It's kind of like a pastor. But ever since I was ordained, I've really been working hard in this area of marriage and family. And when Robin Young said, hey, let's do something for marriage, I said, great. She goes, pick a topic, but nothing too intense. It's a pandemic. Just make sure. I'm like, how about love songs and the vows? She's like, that's perfect. So this is what I want to talk about a little bit, is that love songs are famous because they're effective. And they're effective because they actually resonate and awaken something in us that we say, I want that. Like, yeah. You know, so in the summer times, you're driving, you're rolling down your windows. By the way, in Alabama, you heard about fires at fireplaces and rolling down windows. It's because we have snow. All right, that's something that's cold and it falls from the sky. All right, but love songs seem to seize us and awaken something in us where we think, this is what I want. So I was thinking, as today was coming along, I was thinking of a couple different love songs. And when I first was ordained, at every wedding reception I went to was nearly the same love song. And it was John Legend's All of Me. Right? It was huge, right? It's like, all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, your perfect imperfections. You give your heart to me, I give you my all to you. And it goes on, and it just phrased over and over again that all of me loves all of you. That I don't want to hold anything back. That when I'm in love with you, I'm all in. And people went nuts. This song, everyone was downloading it, everyone was listening to it, and all these couples were dancing. Right? It was really good. But then I started thinking at that time, like, who is the greatest ever at writing love songs? People don't even debate it because it's so unanimously agreed upon. And it can be debated a little bit, I guess, but I think we all know the number one person at love songs. You're right, Michael Bolton, right? Yeah. So Michael Bolton is the best. Yeah, is the best love song. When a man loves a woman, okay, steel bars wrapped all around. Okay, guilty pleasure. I do like Michael Bolton. Right?
TJ Mannion immediately typed in Michael Bolton.
Oh,
Before you eat, I'm joking.
Oh, dang. I was like, I thought I had a fan, but apparently I'm just alone. No, Michael Bolton wrote a song called Forever, right? Do you guys remember this? Like, forever isn't long enough to give you my love, baby. And then there was a key change, like in all of his songs. All right. But once again, you have this sense of, people say this naturally when they fall in love. Forever, all of me. And it's this link between like infinite, forever, everything, beautiful, pleasurable, ecstatic, joyful. And it's that link with love. They seem to go together. And what Pope Benedict writes, I got this little thing by Pope Benedict, is he says, love and divine life go together. Love promises infinity, eternity, a reality far greater than our everyday existence. Right? So, maybe you have kids, so you're changing diapers. Maybe you have 4 kids, right? So you're counting 4 pairs of shoes, 4 pairs of pants every day, 4 plates at the dinner table to make sure they got 4 things of macaroni and cheese, right? It's that everyday existence. All right, go to work, pay the bills, come home, make sure you eat healthy, get to bed at a decent time. There's that everyday existence, and then all of a sudden, one day you fell in love. One day you saw someone, like movies capture because everything slows down. The screen goes fuzzy on the side, a song kicks in. Like, these moments are because they're different than every other moment. They seem to awaken something that we want to be there always, but it isn't. And there's one love song for me that I think is probably the most honest, because as beautiful as John Legend and Michael Bolton is, they're only capturing a fleeting moment. Because the truth is, every one of us has been wounded by love as well. Spouses don't want to, but they hurt each other. And then, to be honest, sometimes they want to because our egos flare up. Priests don't want to be mean, and you catch us on a bad day, and then people leave the church. We want to be great at loving, but we also know that life that's awakened and our experience, there's this big gap. And that gap is so important to just name and not be afraid of, but to recognize that there's something else at work. And to be honest, Michael Bolton aside, although it's out of my generation, I still love Carole King, right? And there's a song she says, it's entitled, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, right? Tonight you're mine completely, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And there's a, tonight you love so sweetly, tonight the light of love is in your eyes. And then the saddest question ever, but will you still love me tomorrow? This song is so sad because it's so real, that this moment is so intense. Put in just normal terms, it's hot, right? It's a great moment, pleasure, passion, awesome, but it's unstable. Is it going to last? And see, in the question, we see the instability and the hope. We want love to last. We want it to go forever. We want it to grow. But we also realize that it's unstable. It has pitfalls. It falls apart. One of the sad realities is divorce or breakups when you're younger. And the pain there causes us to be very nervous. This is one of the reasons people are nervous to get married. right? And this is why Pope Benedict continues with this. So we hear about love being infinite, being connected. He says, yet we have also seen that the way to attain the goal is not by following our instinct, but through purification that goes along the path of renunciation. No one wants to renounce their egos. No one wants to die to themselves in Christian terms, right? But it's only by dying to these immature forms of love, instinct, possession, pleasure only, that something new can grow, namely being able to love like God. When all of you, and the two of you stood at your altar, you said vows. And there's different forms of the vows that the church gives. But in essence, what the vows say is, I'm not going anywhere, ever, no matter what. Like, that's an intense thing to say, right? You're saying, like, listen, good times, bad times, sickness, health, rich, poor, I ain't going anywhere. Which means when this hurts like hell, I'm not going to run, look for an escape. Instead, I'm going to stay in it. And I'm going to let myself be stretched so that I'm not just in it for me. I learn how to care about you more than I care about myself. And this is why Jesus is the model for married love. St. Paul's writings in Ephesians chapter 5, he says, husbands, it's that nudge passage, right? It's the nudge passage because it says, wives be submissive to your husbands, and all the husbands nudge their wives, right? But like, if husbands weren't busy nudging and they listened, they wouldn't like the next line very much, which is, listen, wives, be submissive. It's really to the extent that your husband loves you like Christ. And how does Christ love? By dying on the cross. He says, listen, I will let loving you kill me rather than not love you. I will let the demands of making you feel honored, blessed, seen, chosen, and called to God, I will let that reality, all right, be so demanding that I would rather die than get in the way of that truth in your life. Now, this sounds ridiculous. Why would anyone want it? Except for one thing. We're created to live this way. We're created in the image of a God of what in Greek it's called kenosis, or self-emptying, self-giving love. When I got ordained on May 17th, 2014, I laid flat on the marble floor at St. John Cathedral, St. John the Evangelist Cathedral here in Cleveland. And the sign of this was that my whole life is now given over to the diocese. Right? I now have the task every day of my life to live that laying down out. And of course I've failed and I go to confession and try it all over again. But we keep growing in that capacity. What love songs do for us is they remind us of the promise that we are called to an ecstasy beyond our wildest imagination, to a pleasure that is ineffable, to a joy and fulfillment of longings we couldn't even imagine. We use the word heaven, but we think of angels and harps, and that's boring. We can't think of an image that captures the utter thrill of heaven. But the path to it is what's so hard. But Jesus did it first. And as someone I know always says, the path to heaven is a bloody mess. But it's mingled with Christ's blood. And so his grace really is there to sustain couples. I guess kind of just wrapping this part of this night up a little bit is, what I just want to say is like, your marriage matters. Like you think, oh, so many people are married, we're stuck at home in a pandemic. Like, no, like your marriage matters so much. In fact, according to the Bible, your marriage is the language, the imagery to make sense of salvation. St. Paul says, a man will leave his mother and father and cling to his wife. This is a great mystery, or the mega mystery. And he says, but I mean in reference to Christ and the church. Meaning, if we want to understand what Jesus is doing on the cross, why we have a Eucharist, why there's a thing called heaven, why he came down, suffered, died, and rose, the language, the backdrop, the soundtrack is a love song. The idea is that marriage makes that visible, and not marriage as an idea, real spouses. So I'm going to land the plane here, they say, with this image. If you want to know what God is like, I should be able to take someone to your house and say, have dinner with this couple. They're tender, they're kind, hopefully you're passionate, but it's dinner, let's keep that in mind. Huh? Right? But you're also forgiving, enduring, merciful. All of these things make up marriage, and they're the very titles of God. So that's the first move. The second move, though, is if you want to know why marriage doesn't seem to perfectly correspond to every single desire, now you bring them into my rectory, or you have them go to church and you see priests and nuns who show you that as good as married love is, it's always the appetizer to the eternal banquet of Christ and the church. And so we need both. Without married couples, I have no way to describe or put flesh on what is Christ like. But in order to realize that my spouse can never fully satisfy me, we need priests and nuns to witness to you that there really is a love that is so real that we could sacrifice, and it is sacrificial, all the earthly pleasures of marriage and family to remind you that there is a marriage with infinite, eternal love, and that in fact does make sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, a big family of God. And so we're going to pause right there for the sake of the night. And I just want to remind you some of that talk of spousal fulfillment and infinite. We're going to come back to that on Valentine's Day, which is World Marriage Day. We're going to spend Valentine's Day together. Why not? Yeah. You know, that'll be on a Sunday night. More information coming on that. But at least for tonight, what I wanted to do is just kind of pause there, and we're going to go to a little bit of trivia. But before that, we're also going to let you know you can submit some questions. So as you've been typing in that box below, you can ask me some questions about what I've said, implications, things like that. And I'm just going to ask Tommy not to say the name of the person who asked the question, just so that we can just answer the question plainly. And maybe it's for me, maybe it's for one of those couples out here. Just any question you'd like to ask, we're going to open that up for some time. Then we're going to go to some trivia, and we're going to end with a little something for you to do tonight before you go to bed as a couple. So with that said, why don't we kick it over to Robin?
All righty. Thank you. Thank you.
Has
Thank you
TJ
for that.
got on yet?
Okay, so we have another book, Rediscovering the Saints.
Oh, who's this for? Facebook or YouTube?
Facebook, sorry.
By Matthew Kelly.
Why don't we hold up just a sec?
Okay.
We might have some questions coming in, so it's
Okay.
Okay.
a little,
Contentious?
well, it's just gonna get confusing.
Yeah.
That was the
Back here. So let me start with the first question,
Good.
which is, can you just say a little bit more, Father Ryan, about, you were talking about marriage first as an appetizer, and then the consecrated religious life, priesthood, how marriage is a sign, and about how in heaven we will no longer be given in marriage. How is marriage a sign like that?
Yeah, so great. So the question is, if marriage is a sign and we're not given in marriage in heaven, can I flesh that out a little bit? Yeah, so if I'm driving to Chicago, all right, from Cleveland, I need signs that tell me Chicago 300 miles away, 200 miles away, 50 miles away. But when I'm standing on Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago, I no longer need a sign that says I'm in Chicago. Similarly, married love, self-giving love, sacrificial love is the sign of heaven. It's the roadmap, self-giving, totally given. All of me loves all of you. I'm in this forever no matter what. That is the language, the climate of what heaven is like. So it's the sign of heaven. But the reason Jesus says you don't need it when you're in heaven, right, is because once you're in heaven, you're no longer have the sign, you're with the reality of infinite love itself. One quick thing though, Jesus says in heaven you're no longer married in heaven or given. It's not because marriage is deleted, it's because marriage is completed. In heaven, what you're meant to be is fulfilled. It's not like you and I know sometimes married couples joke like, "I finally get rid of that guy." Like, no. Like it's all the perfection, but properly understood. And Mary, your favorite saint, like you will have this level of intimate knowledge with the communion of saints, the Trinity, and angels. So it's even more glorious than anything on earth. But we need tangible signs, and that's what marriage is.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay, a couple quick questions here. Some people are asking, what is the name of the book? Pope Benedict book?
This is, just a little backstory. When popes write things, there's different levels of writings. They're called an encyclical. They're little books and writings on different topics. This was Pope Benedict's first encyclical called Deus Caritas Est, which means God is love. The first half is a reflection on desirous, or known as erotic love, not porneia. That's a different Greek word. Eros is desire. It's beautiful. It's holy. He reflects on eros and agape, two types of love. And the second half is really in the Christian world, what's that look like for love of neighbor and the sacraments? So that was his first document he wrote, Deus Caritas Est, God is love.
Okay, next question. This is an easy one. I'm not going to say who it's from because you told me not to, but it's Father Ryan, can I make another drink?
Yes, I'll answer that.
Did you text him and you can make another drink while I was talking? Yeah, go get a drink, Dan. Go get when it's happy hour. What the heck? Just don't step over the
Anyone else
microphone.
need one?
Don't go in front of the camera. Those are strict.
My gosh.
I gotta watch the
Oh my
court.
gosh.
There's a monitor on the floor here,
There goes Stan getting another drink.
so they can see when they're on camera. Dan knew he was off camera, so he can.
Go get a drink.
Go get a drink.
Anyone else need one?
We're good. Thank you.
Natural.
All right, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Father Ryan, you've been part of many, many weddings. What would you say is your favorite wedding reading?
Oh.
It's a great question. Two come to mind. The first one is the Tobit reading, right? There's a translation I really like. We don't have it in our lectionary, but it's a translation where they say, beloved, arise. Beloved, let us arise and go to God. It's right. They're in bed. He's worried that if he consummates his marriage, he's going to die like the other 6 guys. And so he's like, we should probably pray. And so he's like, beloved, let us arise and go to God.
Tommy, didn't you have that at your wedding?
I'm kind of half listening. Are we talking Tobit?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I like that one. And then there's one that's not used often, but St. Paul's letter to Romans, where it says, as God has given us his son, what won't he give us? And this idea that God's love holds nothing back. And if he holds nothing back and he is being dedicated to this couple, it means this couple will lack nothing if they stay open and dependent on God. And so it's this beautiful thing. So, Tommy?
Okay. Have you ever stood in front of a couple and thought, this isn't going to work?
I don't know if I should. Maybe some of my couples are watching. No,
Just don't say everyone.
Yeah.
I can tell you this way. One time, because I inherited the couple when I got newly ordained. All right, not newly ordained. They'll be able to figure this out. Some other time. There was a couple I knew one time, and a priest I knew. He never worked with them. He just showed up on the rehearsal day and met him. That's what happened. So it's not that I didn't think it would work out. I just had no idea. So it was my first time I met them. It was on the rehearsal because the previous priest couldn't come back for it. So I was like, hi, nice to meet you. Congratulations. I had no idea when I was offering them to God and calling the prayers down, what were they like as a couple, this and that. But I have never prepared a couple all the way through where I thought they don't have what it takes. And by the way, to have what it takes, by that I simply mean they know their brokenness and they're willing to depend on God. No, I'm not impressed with couples who think they're strong enough themselves. That's going to be a bumpy ride. It's couples who say, we got problems, but God is merciful and he can get us through this. That I'm okay with. I like that. Yeah. Oh, Tommy Dome again in the back.
Even though we will no longer be married in heaven, do we know if we will remember our spouses?
Absolutely. You will actually know them better than you did on earth because you're sharing in God's knowledge. So maybe you always wondered, why did my husband always get mad when when Bruce Willis
Thank
movies
you.
were on? Right? Like you could never figure it out. In heaven, not only are you going to know the story, but you're going to know the story from God's perspective. So you're going to see it with all of his mercy as well. There's a book, Therese and Maurice, about the little flower writing to a seminarian. And he's very afraid that when he gets to heaven, when she dies and gets to heaven, she's going to see all of his sins. And he's like, I don't want that to happen. And she goes, I think you're confused. Yes, I'll know your sins, but I'm going to know them with the mercy of Jesus, and I'll love you all the more. So we will know our spouses better than we do now, and we will know them with mercy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's excellent. Excellent. All right, so we're going to go back to trivia.
Here it is, trivia
Discovering
time.
the Saints.
By Matthew Kelly.
And it is, God performed the work of creation in how many days, TJ Mannion?
This is Facebook, YouTube.
Facebook? God performed the work of creation in how many days?
TJ has 4 kids. He should be busy with.
I know. Why are you putting them to bed already? How about the Alabama group? Why can't they answer?
They might have. Who knows?
We had several people comment 7, but no.
No, I'm sorry.
It
That's
wasn't
wrong.
7 days he was working, just 6. So Lori Restifo.
All right.
All right.
Lori,
Lori.
well done.
Way to go, Lori.
Kind of a trick question, don't you think?
A little bit.
That was the point.
What's the point? It's cutthroat trivia.
I'm sorry. I just am so, I'm just not used to such intensity. So, all right, now that you got your drink, would you like to,
Yeah, I do have here. Thank you. What am I doing?
You're reading the question.
I'm reading the question.
Number 6.
Number
All right,
6.
well, hang on.
We'll
You
put this
can
up.
win the book, What to Do When Jesus is Hungry. A practical guide to the works of mercy.
and is this for YouTube?
YouTube.
For YouTube.
This is for YouTube. Megan and I always wanted to be YouTube stars and celebrities.
What's happening?
There you go. You're welcome.
Paid $1 million.
He's like, who are you talking about?
You have 36 people watching you right now. Good luck with that.
Yeah, actually, why don't I mention how many couples
Yeah.
we've got? We've got 115.
115 couples. Nice.
Nice.
So that's, I'm not a math major, but that's like 230 people.
It's like
Some
that.
dogs, some kids.
Yeah,
Banker, you should know
Yeah, I'm
numbers,
with
Dan.
numbers. Yeah, pretty
It's a
good.
little worse, but okay.
Look out.
What's your question?
So our question is, the Gospel of John records Jesus in the words that no one can enter the kingdom of God without being born again of water and, finish the sentence.
Read it again.
John's Gospel records Jesus saying that no one can enter the kingdom of God without being born again of water and ... Where you at, YouTube?
Vicky.
Ah,
Vicky Radisky.
Very good.
Water and
All right,
Spirit.
Vicky.
Spirit. Way to go, Vicky.
Water and Spirit.
Way to go, Vicky.
Winner,
Book
winner.
report done.
That's right.
Dinner.
All right.
Young's
Cheers,
for the
Vicky.
final round.
We're
Final round of
we're
Cutthroat.
getting there. This is the final 2. So if you haven't gotten a book yet,
What are we drinking here? Some people are asking.
oh well, anyone who knows me, can we type in some answers for those who know me?
I'm guessing an IPA based on what we learned
It's gonna be
tonight.
a slew of answers. I'll tell you that
Tell me
right
what it
now.
is. What are you drinking? A little commercial moment.
This is the Hyper Haze, Market Garden, Cleveland all the way, and I'm really kind of into the hazy IPAs right now. I like the hazy, so
And Father Ryan.
I'm having Great Lakes Dortmunder, a classic, all right, of the Cleveland breweries.
right.
So Alabama folks, Dortmunder, great stuff.
I'll go first. Since we seem to be going around the horn. Can we get a ride home, by the way?
I'm the DD tonight.
All right. I'm drinking an export of the Commonwealth of Kentucky known as Bullet Bourbon.
ooh,
I am drinking Great Lakes Triple Dog that has the picture of the dogs from A Christmas Story.
nice.
Nice.
All right.
Bumpus's dogs.
Yes.
Sounds of dogs, Bumpus's.
Yeah, and everyone at home, either they were answering the question, the spirit, or they're drinking spirits.
It's good.
All right, final round here, Robin. What do you got for us?
All right, final round. So this, go ahead.
The book
honey.
is Mega Church Pastor by Alan Hunt.
Confessions.
Okay, confession. Excuse me, honey.
Which of the Gospels?
Scene over there.
Yeah. Let's see. Which of the Gospels does not give an account of the institution of the Eucharist at the Last Supper?
Facebook people.
Facebook people, yep, sorry.
Read it one more time.
Yes.
Which of the Gospels does not give an account of the institution of the Eucharist at the Last Supper? Gospel, which Gospel does not? I'm trying.
Do we have a winner, Tommy Dome?
Who's Googling it faster?
There's 4 options.
Yeah,
Tell you that much.
pick one.
There's the Synoptic Gospels, and then there's one that's not.
All right,
How's that for a
Colleen
clue?
Ballacino
Oh.
says John.
Well done, Colleen.
Well done.
It's impressive.
And what is special about John's version or telling of the Last Supper, Mr. Bender? Doesn't have an institution of the Eucharist, but
Has the washing of the feet.
And we saw the
Lesson we
beautiful
draw from
mural
that,
in
probably.
Milan.
What did you say, Tommy? I was drinking Dortmunder. No, okay. All right, wait, do we have
Final
one?
question, yep.
Final
All
question.
right, this is for YouTube.
And this is the book is The Practice of the Presence of God and the Spiritual Maxims by Brother Lawrence. Which can I just give a shout out to Saint Lawrence,
Go right ahead.
very awesome martyr, saint, patron saint of grillers, butchers, right? And I think of St. Lawrence, I think of Pat Fleming. Patrick Fleming, his confirmation name was Lawrence. And Pat texted me in the middle of this, Father.
Yeah.
He dared me to plank. Remember planking? That was so
Yeah, that's
7 years
why-
ago. But he wanted me to do
So
a plank,
seven,
like,
7 years ago.
So we'll go to the wine shot. So you
Yeah,
can
I'll do a minute with you. No problem. I can do it.
Well, he's thinking about it. Let's get the winner first.
yeah,
so we can go that.
Need more of that export from
All right.
Kentucky.
With that.
With that,
All right, here's your question, YouTube. What is the name of a sacred image or picture used for veneration and prayer, especially in the Eastern churches? I'll read that again. What is the name of a sacred image or picture used for veneration and prayer, especially in the Eastern churches?
How's it
go.
go?
Manian got a hold of these questions ahead of time.
I know. Who leaked it?
Melissa Crowell?
Great.
Icon. Yep.
Nice.
Icon. Awesome
I'm gonna say
job.
something I heard.
Nice.
Coming to you, Melissa.
Well,
Good job, Melissa.
we do kind of have a final
Jeopardy,
trivia question. And I think Tommy can bring it up for us. This is very serious. The question will be, who is the caddy, not the golfer, but the caddy in his cute little shirt and shorts? Who is the caddy in that picture?
On the cover of this little
Dykes.
catalog.
And,
Father Dave Libator.
and he's got a little bit more hair than he does now.
That's unbelievable.
It's not Father
I just want to tell you a few
Yeah.
things about this,
Yeah.
okay? Because this is
The dog is not impressed, just so everyone can acknowledge the dog does not impress.
I was a childhood model, is what we're trying to convey.
Give it away.
We didn't have any more books. Well, we're going to give them anyways. An autographed copy of the picture. I only got one.
Yes.
Keeping that thing.
Is that a golf clubs?
Yeah, some golf.
I'll give you a little Dykes Golf Club.
Round of golf.
And I just want to say this was circa 1986, 87. And I'm very progressive. I'm caddying for the lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in case you were wondering if that still looks like, see that? I can still do that pose.
Yep. Very good.
It's a little too pixelated. I can't see the difference.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to, that's a heck of a head of hair, though.
We don't recognize that hairstyle for anyone over the age of 4, but
Yeah.
it's
right.
very cute.
I was just telling them earlier at dinner, I was supposed to be the golfer and she was going to be the caddy, but the dog would growl and bark every time I had the golf club. So we switched. And now we've made history. You know?
There it is.
Above your head.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I don't remember all the details.
Most dogs don't like to be beaten.
Yeah, well, you know.
But no, that is
That's great.
Oh,
the cutest
yeah.
little picture ever.
Well, it's getting close to be the end of the hour, and I just want to wrap up with a few comments. First off, just to both of you, thank you, couples, for being here. And
A lot of fun.
I'm glad to have you guys. And,
Thanks for having us.
and all the couples out there, I just want to thank you for joining us. Tommy, are there any comments about that stupid modeling picture?
Oh boy. How about some blue steel, Father? Mark Nylander wants us to give away the trumpet lamp. As
Oh,
a
there
gift.
you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's trending on
Yeah.
Twitter, by the way.
Father
Nice.
Ryan is a celebrity.
That sounds great. I like that person.
He's from Alabama.
So just want to thank everyone for giving us an hour. We just hope it gave you, just like we said, our goal was just to have a fun, carefree night with just a little bit of things to think about and reflect on, especially the idea of like your experience, right? So like when something flares your heart up or captures your attention, you really want to notice that and say, what's being promised to you? What are you seeking? What are you looking for? And then take that right away to the Lord so he can help make sense of our humanity for us. But before we go, and I'm going to give a final blessing and final prayer, I just want to give you something to reflect on and talk about tonight as a couple. So, you know, some of you got kids to still put to bed or getting Dan home by an Uber or whatever. However you're going to get people home. But, you know, maybe before you get to bed tonight, when you're in bed, this is a great question, I think, to answer. Is the idea here is that love never is ready-made. It never comes ready to go. Your wedding day, you did not have the skills yet to make it through what you've made it through already. All right. We learn it over time through grace and our cooperation. And your spouse is teaching you how to love, which means they're teaching you how to become holy and like Christ. So tonight, before you go to bed, share with each other one way your spouse has helped you grow as a man or woman, how they've made you actually better. And don't be vague, or don't be like, it's easy to be jokey, right? I was a professional comedian before I became a priest. It's so easy to be jokey. But this is the time where it's like, you know what? We need to have like an intentional, tender, meaningful, I'm going to bless you by letting you know how you've helped me become more and more the man or woman I've been called to be. And if you tell the story along with it, it's just a real good way to have meaningfulness, which in Greek is logos, and the logos became flesh, which is to say, it's a great way to discover Christ in your own relationship by having this meaningful, maybe 5-6 minute conversation. So a little reflection for all of you. I'd love to end with prayer and a blessing. Any final comments?
Thank you, Father.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When's next month?
Next month, Valentine's Day, all right, and it's at 7 p.m.
Bring your favorite dessert.
It's dessert time, favorite dessert. I love sugar, so I can't wait, okay? So 7 p.m.
Buddy the Elf.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm just like Buddy the Elf, thanks, yeah. So,
In shorts with the golf club.
and Tommy Dome, with big thank you to
I
you.
just want to say a couple different folks expressed, a lot of people are thankful that we did this, and it's nothing without you guys joining us, so thanks so much, all you couples from all over.
Yeah.
And also, some people were saying, this would be great to have more stuff for couples, more post-Canaanites kind of things were mentioned.
Sure.
So-
Great.
And so at my first assignment, I started a ministry called Post Cana here at St. Basil's. I'm discovering they had something called Connections.
Couple in faith.
Oh, Connections was at St. Francis de Sales in Akron and at Barnabas.
Robin and I just made that up.
Couple in
We
faith,
made that up on the
Couple
fly.
in
Yeah.
Faith is here. So there's a lot of ministry out there, but I certainly am very adamant that I really believe if you can get couples realizing the church is an expert in humanity and she has a lot of wisdom, and it's joyful wisdom to help you. I think the more and more we can be there for you, I think it's just going to bless culture, the church, and the world. So we want to do something for sure.
Tommy's laughing.
Tommy, what are you laughing about over there?
Because people are like, cut off Father Ryan. He's just
Don't you worry about it. I had one here for like 2 hours, okay? So it was more of a prop than anything else. So, all right, well, why don't we end in a little prayer for all of you, and if you're able to pray at home, please join us. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Lord Jesus, when you stepped into creation, you accepted the title of bridegroom. You were born of the husband and Mary, of Joseph and Mary, the husband and wife. Your first miracle was at a wedding feast. In your parables, you use the example of wedding celebrations. On the cross, your last words were, "It is consummated," as you gave yourself up for your bride, the church. And in heaven, it's called the wedding feast of the Lamb. And so we trust and thank you for your love and zeal to heal, bless, and sanctify marriage. May this night touch people's hearts more and more. May husbands grow in tenderness and sacrificial love for their wives so they can imitate Christ. And may wives more and more trust and be open to the sacrificial ways of their husband and respond in kind, so that the two becoming one in all things, we may see an image of the Eucharist, where Jesus becomes one with all of us. And through the intercession of Mary and Joseph, may God bless you with encouragement, mercy, and a lot of hope. May God bless you all, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. On behalf of St. Basil's, thank you for joining us, and God bless.
Go Browns!
Will this
We need like credits rolling up.
on,
Credits.
on anything in case anyone wants to share it or not?
Will it be?
Like, is it recorded so
Yeah, it's
that?
gonna stay on YouTube and Facebook and
Forever?
Movie stars.
send me an email with your address for the books. It's
Okay.
tdome@basilthegreat.org. That's Tango Delta. All right.
So all the parents out there, send it to your kids and friends and neighbors. Thanks.
Yeah.